Welcome to Sports Focus. We are just talking about the Cowboys because this is Cowboys Talk right now. This ain't Sports Focus. This is Cowboys Talk. We was talking about Kellen Moore and my fears. This is my personal fear that Kellen Moore is going to take over the play calling and the offensive coordinator, but keep Linehan's book.
I'm hoping that it's just as it was with Tom and as it is with Bill. You can have your playbook, but it's going to be within the system that I want. So you can design any play you want as long as it's within the Air Cornell system, which could cause for switching the players, more motion and everything else like that. But it's the same type of system to get the ball downfield.
I wonder what offense, what system do the Cowboys run anyway?
Air Cornell offense.
Air Cornell, it don't look
That's
like
the same offense that was ran under North Turner with a twist, I guess, because North always ran two backs, a fullback and a running back to help open those holes. His was a power run, and it took them forever to get to the power run. But now you're doing it with one back with Zeke. And imagine if he does it with the fullback like it's designed to do, how many more yards Zeke would get.
See, the thing is with that, and I always say, we are not football people. We are not in the NFL. Okay? We saw the 90s Cowboys, and what did we see? We saw Troy, boom, and we had Irvin, we had Harper, we had Novacek, and that offensive line, a great wall, and then we had Moose Johnson and the great number 22. But so why now that Garrett comes in and he has wide receiver, boom, wide receiver, two tight ends, they call that the 12. I don't know who introduced that to, was it Linehan? But when they started talking that 12 stuff, it really bothered me because the fullback, imagine Zeke if he had a fullback and he just like, boom, following him, the rushing would be incredible. But I'm not in football. But that's what kills me about Jason Garrett and how he can just use the stuff that worked. That worked. Everyone is playing nickel defense, all these defensive backs. But when you play Dallas, they're going to have your two tight ends. Now we got back Mr. Witten. He's a little older, he's slower. So I guess Witten going to have to do that power blocking stuff.
I think he came back. He's going to serve as a mentor for these young guys coming in. But even before he left, everybody kept saying he's old, but the dude still got open.
How would you feel if Witten was just named the starter going into when training camp opened up? Automatic starter. Not even a challenge for the position.
That's going to be a tough call. It depends on the situation where he would be the starter. How we're going to open up the game. If we're going to open up the game with power running and get the offense rolling on the power, I would, because he's a better blocker. He's a great run blocker. But if we're going to open up and, do a little dump off pass and start passing the ball, no, I'll get the young cats in there, because that was my fear of him taking away snaps from these younger guys who really need it. We can't develop them if they're on the sideline. Plain and simple.
That's always been the Cowboys' problem. They loyal to, a player that's been playing with them for X amount of years, and you're really not developing the, up-and-coming guys. Conversely, you have Belichick. He will get rid of your behind quick. You see how quick he just let these supposed good players for him go. No problem. But who he got coming up, that's Belichick. Amazing other teams just can't do that.
Yeah, because I tell everyone, what scares you with Belichick is you do not know who's on that freaking practice squad. White, he brought in White for 3 games and sent them back to the practice squad. Dude was balling for 3 games. He'd be like, "Whoop, time for me to put you back into back into the cupboard and bring in somebody, bring Blunt back and let him run for a little while." Gave him a nice little rest. Had White start off. It's like this dude is one step ahead.
He is always a step ahead of everyone.
Always way under the cap.
And then they could still make all these moves, even if, because right now they're sort of at the bottom, which I was surprised. But you see, they let Trey Flowers go, they let their offensive lineman go.
Yep.
Oh, well.
They brought in Bennett, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they traded for Bennett. But you see, when players for the Patriots leave the nest, they don't play too well.
No, they don't.
Speaking of the NFC East right quick, how do you feel the Beckham trade out of the division is going to affect not only the Cowboys, but the two teams, the Eagles and the Redskins?
Well, the biggest thing is I think New York is trying to clear cap room because his big contract is going to hit them on the cap this year, but I think it eases up on them next year. And I think that's going to allow them to draft and trade and bargain a little bit more to get in the higher players. But my biggest thing is hopefully you get a quarterback because I'm surprised you didn't let you didn't find a way to get you Nick Foles. Why not bring him in for a little while? But hopefully this draft they get,
Gettleman said they got a plan. And he's like, yeah, we got a plan. And when you hear somebody say that, they don't know what they're doing. They're going to fail. So feel bad for you Giants fans, yo. You loyal fans that sell out that stadium. And too bad you guys are going to suck for the next
few like what
years.
Philadelphia 76ers said, we have a process, and now the process beginning to show.
Yeah, different than basketball.
Yeah.
Football is like you got to win.
Yeah.
Well, you got the Eagles. They made moves. But basically, it seems like to me, all of these teams are happy that Beckham is out of the division. I know I am, as a Cowboy fan, don't have to worry about him anymore. Now, they still got to worry about Saquon. He's a talent, but we'll see how that works for, the Giants. But I'm glad.
I think they're going to try to do that Dallas 1-2 punch. They're going to get a nice young quarterback in this draft and bring him along. Now, Eli should have did like his brother and just traveled off into the sunset a long time ago. But
it's real
what he's holding on to.
Yeah, it's real clear that the Giants organization is like Eli. Sort of like what the Cowboys did with Romo and a certain number 81, Terrell Owens. T.O., Romo, Witten, and Garrett. T.O., you got to go. Jerry sided with Garrett and Romo and Witten, so...
Yeah, but the worst thing about it was Romo didn't want him to go. But the biggest thing is that's the misconception. The misconception is the reason why Terrell Owens had to go was because of a joke that the media played out into a bigger thing. And Mr. Roy Williams, who came to town from that trade with Detroit, who said, if you brought me here to be the number one, then I should be number one, which led to Terrell Owens saying bye-bye. And Roy Williams didn't do a damn thing for the Cowboys.
That was terrible. 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 That was a bad point in Dallas Cowboy history right there. They gave up 2 first-round picks for Roy Williams.
And he did absolutely nothing. Made them get rid of Terrell because he wanted to be the number one, and he did absolutely nothing.
Boy, it just makes you wonder who was running the Cowboys at that time. Was Jerry?
It was Jerry.
It was Jerry. Damn, Jerry. That was bad luck.
Jerry.
He had bad luck with these receivers. He traded 2 first-rounders for Joey Galloway and then Roy Williams. But you had the great T.O. Wow.
Yes,
Hall of Famer T.O.
And wherever Romo put the ball, that dude was getting it. And just imagine years later you end up with Dez Bryant, another physical person you could have put on the other side of him and could have wrecked shop. But no,
we don't like you because you're messing with my quarterback and you're messing with my coach. I don't like it. My offensive coordinator at the time. No. You're a bully. Leave us alone. We're gonna send you away. Hopefully, DeMarcus Lawrence don't get sent away.
Woo.
Real talk, man.
But you know what? I'm gonna be serious about this one. He's stupid.
Yeah.
Over $20 million for one season. Sign it. You're not putting up Donald's numbers. You're not doing 26 sacks or whatever a game. 22 sacks a game. 22 and a half sacks a game. You're not putting up those numbers. Yes, you're disruptive. Yes, they have to plan for you. But you're still not putting up those numbers like that to say, oh, I'm not signing that. What you do, sign your contract. It's only for a year. Where else you gonna get $25 million for 1 year unless you play baseball? And you're gonna turn around, prove your worth by mid-season, and work on your long-term deal. Prove your worth. Put up those numbers. That's just my opinion. I'm just on the outside looking in. So,
yeah, I mean, I think Dallas, and especially with DeMarcus Lawrence, he needs to realize, look, he needs to know his place, and he's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid.
Yes, he will.
So will he get that somewhere else? Maybe, possibly. But I'm sure the other teams see the tape don't lie, stats don't lie. I mean, they look at that, they going, you're not Aaron Donald, you're not Von Miller.
Oh.
But we never really seen what DeMarcus Lawrence can give us, because all those guys, they all pretty much had somebody, their best years, they had somebody on that other side.
Yeah.
So hopefully, this gets all straightened out. You can have DeMarcus Lawrence, you can have somebody over here, since the two flunkies, Gregory and David Irvin.
David Irvin sitting up there quitting while smoking a blunt.
God bless
Just
you, man.
Stupid.
God bless you in your new venture.
Just stupid.
In the marijuana business. Sure. All right. Cowboys did sign someone obscure. He's a 6'2", about 305 defensive tackle, Christian Covington.
Guess they're trying to plug the middle.
Yes. They need big boys to get in there.
Taco?
Well, Taco ain't no damn plugger.
I just had to say it just to hear your expression. Okay. All right. I'm good now. I'm good. Had to scratch his head on that one. All right. So they got the big boy to try to plug the middle.
They also picked up someone from Detroit, Corey Hayter, and I like what the Cowboys also, before we get into that, they re-signed Tavon Austin. So they got their little speed.
They had to resign him because Cole left.
Yes.
They need a speedy slot.
He's not a receiver, though. So, yeah, he caught that long pass, but he's only good for that once every, 6-something games. So I wouldn't even throw him the ball and say he's a receiver. He's more of that punt return, kickoff return. They need to do something with the special team, so hopefully, he could do something. He ain't no wide receiver. He's not a good one.
Yeah, he's a lot of trick plays.
And all that stuff.
Yeah, his speed gets him those trick plays.
Yeah. So do that. Let's move on to the man. Is Stephen Jones the head man in Dallas?
I do believe so. I think ever since that that browbeating he gave his dad on that Johnny Manziel trade, I think he's like, you know what, Pop? We're going to do it this way from now on because you evidently are losing your mind. And I think he's been making some moves because you notice as he got more vocal, the strategy of the Cowboys have gotten a whole lot better.
Yes. I agree. I think Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones to me right now seems like a Tom Benson, the late former owner of the New Orleans Saints, like the face of the franchise, but the work is getting done by him. I think so.
I think so.
I think Stephen, I feel like the Cowboys, with that, I think we need to trust the process. I just think we need to sit back and.
I think he's listening to his assistants more. He's listening to the scouts more. He's actually paying attention. He's not going on gut. He's paying attention to the numbers. So.
Yes. And with that, another Cowboys Talk is in the books. We'll see you next time, and hopefully some good stuff happens. Thank you, Mr. Sibbles, and peace.